I'd like to have kids too, which is a shame because I'm so talented. And you understand. I don't know what happened. A few years ago, I was like, yeah, I'll get to kids. And now it's like every day I wake up and my brain goes, you have goals. And my body's like, I'm empty, like all the time. I saw a baby in a fedora last week and I was like, I need to make something and put a hat on it right now. It came from somewhere inside me I didn't know existed. I felt like a young boy who'd just seen porn for the first time. Just like, what's happening to my body? I have to go home forever. I do still get annoyed with other people's kids, which I think will keep me empty a little bit longer. Like my biggest pet peeve are those babies that wave at you from strollers. Have you seen these babies? They're strangers to you, but they wave like you owe them money or something. And it's like, hi, don't engage, it's a trap. The same thing happens every time. Hi. 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 Hi, sweetie, how are you? You know why they laugh? Because they just wasted your time. They know one word, it's not a conversation. That's a dead end. That would be like me walking up to a French person like, bonjour. They get excited, start talking to me in French, and I just go, ha ha. Then a bigger person wheels me away in a carriage. Au revoir, asshole. You thought you made a friend, baguette. I do want to have kids, but I want to make sure before I have them that I have made enough mistakes so that I give great advice as a parent. You have to make mistakes, learn from them, and then you give amazing advice. My dad read his Bible every night. He got a scholarship to college. He married my mom, and then he had us. His advice was terrible. He'd be like, don't do that. And we're like, why? And he's like, I don't know, kid. I read it in a book. I've never really lived. Joel Osteen pose. My uncle was a drug-dealing alcoholic who got shot in the 90s. I listen to everything that man says. Because he can back it up. He's like, don't do that. Why? Because Uncle Larry P's sitting down now. Go play. I just don't want to be one of these people that has kids too soon before I think about what it's going to be like. Like, my biggest fear is the technology thing. Like, my kids are always going to have the internet. And don't get me wrong, I'm young. I had the internet pretty early. I got the internet just as I was going through puberty, which was awesome. I had a magic box I could hop on and be like, is this hairnormal.com, upload picture? And then someone from Arkansas is like, you're probably fine. And I'm like, cool, I'm getting back on my bike. Like, I don't know what people did during puberty before the internet, just like read Judy Blume until they started tingling. Like, what happened? Can you imagine going through puberty in the 1300s? Back then you were alone. Something weird was happening downstairs. You're like, that's a little strange. Hope I'm not a witch. I can't go swimming. My daughter will always have the internet. From the time that she is born to the time she dies, she's always going to have it. And I have to explain to her that the internet is the most beautiful, amazing, disgusting, horrifying thing in the universe. How do you do that in a balanced, measured way? Just like, hey, sweetie, have so much fun on the internet, talk to your friends, do your homework, but be careful, because a lot of people in there want to kill you. Everyone on the internet wants to kill me. No, not everybody. Some of them are just nice kids from Arkansas who want to let you know your pubic hair is A-okay. But yeah, some of them want to wear you like a skin jacket. So just please look out for mommy, okay? But you met daddy on the internet. That's different. I met your daddy on a dating app. He sent me a very thoughtful emoji. And just really saw me for me. But how did you know daddy wasn't a bad internet person who wanted to kill you? Look, you little bitch, I didn't, okay? I didn't, but mommy was going through a dry spell. Your daddy had nice shoulders, so I took a fucking chance. Tale as old as time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Tomlinson!
The boys wanna be her.
How stupid was that? I came up from the floor like I'm a fucking Jonas brother. I know that was silly, and it was my idea. I was so embarrassed that I thought of that, but it was too late when we got here to change it because men with jobs had built it. And we're operating it very well, I might add. And I was just like, we can probably just scrap it, right? They're like, well, this is like a week of our lives. So I know that was dumb. Thank you for indulging me. How we doing, DC? Thank you so much for coming. Fine. Of being single. I used to just jump from relationship to relationship to relationship because I was so scared that I was going to die alone. And now that I'm older, I'm like, I'm not going to die alone. I don't go hiking by myself, all right? Someone will be there when I die. A doctor, a murderer. Someone will bear witness. But I've been single for the last year now, and it has been the most relaxing year of my entire life. It has been lovely. Waking up every day going, oh, no one's gonna make me cry today but me. The peace, it's lovely. Here's the thing. Being single is not what sucks. Dating is what sucks. And you can opt out of that. Dating is what's shitty. The constant push and pull of hope and disappointment. Dating feels like being a stuffed animal in a claw machine. Like, oh my God, it's happening! No, it's not. Oh my God, here we go. Wow, can't believe I told people. That's embarrassing. And you're just moving me over to get to something else. I understand. I get that. And things change so quickly as you're getting older, too. I had a friend. I didn't talk to her for a couple weeks. I called her to catch up. She goes, you'll never guess. I think I met my soulmate on Bumble. Gone, just like that. They're getting married this spring. We were lying in the same pile of stuffed animals for years. I closed my eyes for 2 minutes, and when I opened them, she was outside the glass going, it'll happen for you, too! I love being the neutral friend who's not dating, because as you get closer to 30, breakups get more and more devastating. Half my friends are getting engaged, and the other half are going through the worst breakup of all time with the person they thought they were going to die with, which means half the phone calls I get are, I'm getting married, and the other half are, I'm getting old, and I'm like, I am getting Taco Bell. Who wants something? Taco Bell, good for every occasion. Nothing will make you more grateful to be single than watching your friend go through a devastating breakup. That's messed up to say, but it's the truth. I have a friend just went through a breakup, still follows her ex on social media because they're trying to be mature and evolved. Rookie mistake. Her ex just posted a photo of him and his new girlfriend, who is a model. I know, don't worry, we all called her. We're like, hey, how's it going? Have you been online today? Because we were thinking maybe doing like a no screens day. We were thinking maybe we just power down, get a quilt, find a field, maybe crack the Bible open one more time. I don't know. She's like, I already saw it. We're like, oh, we're too late. Okay, are you okay? She's like, no, honestly, I wish he was just like dating a man instead. And we're like, oh, you are so problematic, Trish. Why? Why would that be better for you if he was just dating a man instead? She goes, no, listen, because then if he dumped me for a man, it would be like, well, okay, then he just wanted something that I could never be. And we were like, well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of... No, we think you're so pretty, babe, but like a model? Like that's kind of like a different, like look around. Don't you think if you were a model, we'd all be models? But this isn't Model Squad. This is Personality Squad. Like this is a different team you're on. We have another friend who just got cheated on, which is crazy. You can't cheat anymore. It's not the 90s, you idiot. Your phone is tracking your every movement. You're going to get caught. You're going to go out and buy your side chick flowers. Your wife's going to get a text from Bank of America like, we noticed that Steve was being thoughtful? That just seemed like suspicious activity over here at BOA, because we know that POS. I think it's important to hang out. I used to be a really toxic girlfriend. I've worked on it a lot in therapy over the years. I was a nightmare in my 20s. I was dating a guy once in my 20s, and we were laying on the couch one night, and we weren't fighting, and I thought that was weird. So I turned to him, and I said, hey, babe, if you found out that we were cousins, Would you break up with me? And he goes, yes. And I was like, whoa, fast. No follow-up questions. You're just out like that. He goes, it's illegal, Taylor. I'm like, so are mushrooms, and we did those. Now you're this law-abiding citizen just because we're cousins? He goes, you're so wrong about this. Ask anyone we know. So I texted the 3 happiest couples in my phone. And I said, hey, if you two found out you're cousins, you didn't know when you met, you haven't known this whole time you've been together, you have the same relationship you've always had, but whoops, you're cousins. Would you break up? And they all wrote back, do we have to tell anybody? And I showed him my phone and I said, that's what love looks like. Quick poll. If you found out your partner was your cousin, clap if you would break up with them. Okay. That's a lot of people. No, don't discuss. Fight in the car. Fight in the car. Okay, now, if you found out your partner was a robot, clap if you would break up with them. Oh, interesting. Bit of a drop-off over here. Some of us clap for cousin and not for robot. Okay, so we're going to abandon our family, but we'll keep fucking the toaster. Okay, well, that makes sense. I think we need more gay prudes to stand up and go, I too am bisexual. I'm attracted to all of you, and I trust no one. I would, but I will not. It's also scary to say you're bisexual for the same reason it's scary to say you're suicidal. There's always going to be people who are like, if you don't go all the way, you just want attention. You know who likes that joke? Queer people. Queer people get that joke? Straight people are like, oh my God, there were so many sad words. Which is fair, you're right. No offense, straight guys. I have to say, I am so glad that straight men are not my only option anymore. That was bleak. That was tough. And it's not because you're bad people. You're just so hard to communicate with. I mean, and I tried. I've been to couples therapy with a lot of dudes. Never been married. That's embarrassing. You know how embarrassing it is to break up with someone you've been to couples therapy with? You just have to live the rest of your life with all this useless information about some dude's childhood. You're like, cool, guess I'll just go the rest of my days knowing what triggers Michael. That sucks. I also couldn't get on the same page with a lot of my boyfriends about our future. Like, I used to only want to adopt if I was going to have kids. And every straight guy I ever dated was like, no, it's going to look like me or I'll eat it. Every guy. Which, hey, I've never been a father. Maybe that's true, right? I had one boyfriend who said he would use a surrogate. He was open to that idea, which I do love the idea of a surrogate. What a power move to be like, can you just hold this for 9 months? I'm so busy. I'm getting a call. Don't eat fish. You breeze back in 9 months later. Their guts are everywhere. You have a blowout. You're like, thank you so much. Thank you. Hey, you're glowing. You're brave. Money's on the nightstand. 5 stars. Bye. You're like, that was a lot. I'm going to do no contact delivery next time, I think. Yeah, no, you're at the right place. Just leave it on the porch, take a picture, I'll come get it when you're gone. No, you're at the right house. Look, if I was an extrovert, I would have had it myself. So. When I say that I came out in the last couple of years, I just mean publicly, right? Like, I came out to friends earlier than that, but I don't think I did it right. I think I was too casual about it. I think I was supposed to do like an episode of Glee, and I just sort of mentioned it, like, oh, by the way, I think I'm going to date women now, too. And they were like, okay. Like I said, I was vegan or something. Like, okay, we'll see how long that lasts. You need iron, bitch. Like, they were not. They really accepted it once I had my first girlfriend. I started dating this girl who was so hot. I was like, oh, my God, am I Pete Davidson? How tall am I? And when I started dating women, it was the closest I'd come to feeling religious in a long time, because my friends would complain about their boyfriends and husbands, and I was like, have you heard the good news? You don't have to live like this. There's a better way. Then once I had a girlfriend, then my friends started coming to me with a lot of their questions. They started coming to me with their millennial regrets. Do we have any Gen Z in here tonight? Oh my God! Shut up, really? Okay, everyone be cool in front of my new friends. All right. Now, Gen Z, you won't really get this because you guys are very good at exploring your identities and sexualities. You want to know who you are and what you're capable of. And what you have to understand about us millennials is we wake up every day and look in the mirror like, shh. Don't feel joy outside. You'll upset Mama and Papa. Just wait. Be free in death. Wait. Those are our morning affirmations. So we're dealing with a lot. We're repressing a lot. So I had a lot of female friends in their 30s and 40s who were like, I wish I had dated women, but they ended up with a man and they were happy, but they're like, I wish I had done that. And so they were asking me a lot of personal questions like, is it better having sex with women? And I was like, do you really want me to tell you? Because you said you were pretty locked in with that guy. And they're like, no, like, is it really different? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, how? So here's what I said. That's why we're in therapy. People are scared to go to therapy because they think it's someone sitting in a chair going, you suck. But it's not. It's you in a chair going, I suck. And then your therapist is like, that's great. Let's start there. Therapy just helps you get to the bottom of why you're trash, okay? You go into therapy and you're like, here's all the stuff that sucks about me. And she goes, okay. And she puts it all up on the wall like you're solving a crime together. Fun! And then she gets some of that red string that detectives use at home when they've been thrown off the case for going rogue. And she starts connecting each crappy thing about you to each one of your corresponding childhood traumas. And you're like, oh my God, that's why I'm like this. And she's like, that's why you're like this. And you're like, am I fixed now? And she's like, God, no. No. You're like, well, what do I do now? She's like, well, you keep coming back in here every week with your credit card. And you're like, what? Well, will I ever be fixed? She's like, I don't know, bring your credit card. I've got to the bottom of a lot of stuff in therapy. I'm an emotional eater. I don't know if anybody else identifies with that. Cool, 7 people. Everyone else is like, no, we just eat till we're almost full, and then we thank God for the opportunity, okay? Food is just fuel for me. If you're one of those, fuck right off, for real. I'll refund your money. I don't need your support. I'm doing fine. If you don't know what an emotional eater is, it just means you eat to cope with uncomfortable feelings. So if I'm sad or anxious or awake, I'd like to be eating to take the edge off. If you still don't know if that's you, you can ask yourself a few questions to find out. Number 1, when you eat nachos in public, do you get kind of mad that other people are there to see it? Do you feel like nachos should come with a privacy curtain? I do. Have all the best meals of your life taken place in your own car around 11 p.m. under a flickering street lamp? Have you ever eaten a brownie while you felt okay and wished you were sad so that it tasted better? Sounds like more than 7 of us. I just don't want to be somebody who has kids before I'm ready to have them. I have a friend who told me in the next year she either wants to get a dog or have a baby. I'm like, if you think those are the same thing, you are not ready for either one. A dog or a baby? That's like saying, yeah, I'm either going to get a skateboard or my pilot's license. It's whatever I have time for. It is insane to me how easy it is to have and keep a baby. Like, if you get your appendix removed, they won't let you take it home. But if you have a baby, they're just like, here, you drop this. And there are days at the hospital, nurses look at each other like, are we going to let this happen? They both have neck tattoos. One says fuck, one says babies. Either way they stand, it's bad news. Really? This is fine. This is fine with you. What were you going to name her? Big Red after your truck. Yeah, we got to do something. If you want to adopt a kid, you have to jump through so many hoops. But if you just have one, they're like, that's yours forever. No questions asked? That's insane. There's no exit interview on the way out of the hospital to make sure you're okay. Just like, hey, before we hand you a baby forever, can you put this metal bowl in the microwave for me? Some of us not clapping, I encourage you to go home and try that. Nobody tell them. I have a friend who has a 7-year-old, and she shouldn't. And she just bought him an iPhone. I'm like, for what? She's like, it's for protection. I'm like, get him a sword. You're a terrible mother. I said, do you punish this little prince? And she goes, yes. As a matter of fact, sometimes I will take away that iPhone for a whole week and make him use a flip phone. Yeah, a flip phone's a punishment now. All over the United States, there are little kids going, no! Oh, I can play. It's Snake! That is not a punishment. Do you want to hear a real punishment? When I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to walk to school in the morning with my friends because my dad said I'd get abducted. But then anytime I forgot to do a chore, he would make me walk home from school alone, as if to say, you don't want to do your dishes? Well, we don't care if you disappear this week. That's a punishment. That's why I'm up here. But I was trying to understand my friend's parenting style because I don't have kids because I'm responsible. And I said, have you thought about alternative punishments? And she goes, like what? I said, I don't know, chores, grounding, spanking. She's like, oh! I'm like, what, is he behind me? Did he hear? Where is he? You got eyes on him? She's like, I can't believe you suggested I spank my child. I said, whoa. Nobody suggested that. I don't believe in spanking, but I did get spanked. So there's a little bitter part of me for a while that was like, they're not going to have it better than me, that I had to work through in therapy. And I've done that work, and I wasn't sure if you had. It was just a question. Also, why are you acting like I invented spanking? I didn't come in here like, you know what would be good? Like, we both got spanked. What are you talking about? I got spanked growing up. Did you guys get spanked? Yeah. Do you feel fine? I feel fine. 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 If we keep saying it, will we be fine? Maybe. You know, every 3 years, you're like, was I abused? Let's not ruin Christmas. Have you guys realized your parents messed you up yet? Have you found that stray dent in your head? You're like, what happened there? They're like, we did our best. That's what happened there. You were slippery, so. Yeah, this happened as adults. You realize your parents messed you up based on how other people react to stories about your childhood. Stories you thought were fine, because when you're a kid, you're stupid. You're just like, everybody gets tied in the yard. Happy 4th of July. Fast forward 10 years, you're at a work party. Everyone's going around swapping stories. Like, yeah, my mom was crazy. She used to make us take our shoes off in the house. And you're like, oh my God, I know. We wore muzzles at night. What happened? Why'd everyone get sad? We could wear them on the carpet. It wasn't like her thing. But my friend was very offended, and I felt terrible. And I said, I'm very sorry. And she said, you know what, Taylor? I'm never going to spank my kid. Our parents shouldn't have spanked us either. Spanking is the same as hitting. And I was like, okay, back up. There was a huge difference between what my parents did and hitting. Location, location, location. They never spanked me in the face. There's stuff in my face. People can see that, all right? There was nothing in my butt except justice for my parents. I got spanked so much growing up, I thought that's what your butt was for. I thought God made the first kid and was like, I better add some fat somewhere in case this starts mouthing off at Olive Garden. I did want to be married, though. I wanted to be married, mostly so I wouldn't have to date anymore. I will say, though, the best time to date is immediately after a very painful breakup, because your standards are so low. Oh, after I broke off my engagement, I was like, wow, all I want to do is make out with someone who hasn't seen me cry in the tub. Like, that's all I wanted. I just wanted a fresh one who didn't know I was crazy to come in like, you're not like other girls. I'm like, not yet. Oh, you're sitting across from him at dinner while he talks about his ex. You're like, whoa, she sounds nuts. But in your head, you're like, we would be friends. If this doesn't work out, I'll call her. She made a fake Facebook account to stalk you after you blocked her? That's insane. I would never do that on Facebook. She sounds old. Not good at dating. I tried a dating app once. I tried OkCupid. Heard some judgment from the back. Look, I didn't know it was a bad one. I should have known. The name sounds like giving up. Just like, OkCupid, you take a stab. I just don't like dating apps because I feel like people curate these really fake opening lines that they'll just copy and paste and use on everybody. I talked to a guy who told me on Tinder, his opening line, no matter who it was, so, do you like sunrises or sunsets? That's me choking on his dick because that's a great line. I mean, it's poetry. That's a haiku, I think. Check my math, but that line's a Trader Joe's bag. You should reuse it. I had a guy on OkCupid send me an emoji as an opening line. Not a cute one, not like a heart or a kissy face or even an eggplant, which is gross, but I get it. He sent me one of these. You know the one you never touch because it looks like Pac-Man getting a colonoscopy? Half of you won't enjoy this joke because you don't know what I'm talking about. That's how rarely this emoji is used. And I responded because I was like, I gotta make sure this guy doesn't hurt anybody. So I wrote back and I said, does this work for you? Do people respond because they're confused? Are you negging me? What's happening here? And he goes, well, the way a woman responds to the emoji tells me a lot about her character. And I said, all right, Detective Douche Rocket. What does my response tell you about my character? And he goes, well, it tells me you're really transparent, honesty's super important to you, and you have trouble trusting people. That emoji works. He's like, so we should get coffee or married. I don't know. Dr. Doucherage, I'm sorry. Part about being single, hands down, is that you do not have to introduce anybody to your parents. Have you guys introduced people you were dating to your parents? It's not about introducing people you love to one another, is it? No. It's about showing your partner why you're mean to them sometimes. It's about taking your sexual partner back to the scene of the crime. To say, see, the stories are true. Because you don't want your partner to like your parents. You want them to walk out of that night going, oh my God. Your parents are just, I know. I mean, seriously, babe, how did you ever? I don't know. Kind of seems like maybe people should cut me some slack when I'm being a bitch, though, huh? Kind of seems like maybe now that we have all the information, turns out I could be a lot crazier if I wanted. But I keep a lid on it pretty good, and I deserve to stop at Target on the way home. With no time limit. And I want a cart, not a basket. You have to be careful when you introduce people to your parents, though, because your parents don't always show up as your parents, do they? Mine never did. My parents undermined me every single time I brought someone home to meet them. I did everything right. I did the huddle up in the car before we went in, like, hey, remember what I told you? Those people in there, they're not your friends.
Whatever they say to you, do not take that personally. It's not about you. It's about them. Do you want to write that on your hand in case you forget? No? You can look at my tattoo if you get scared. Let's do it. And then you go inside prepared for your parents to show their true colors. And your parents float downstairs. And they're just amazing all night. They're like fun, cool, laid back. Your dad's in an open Hawaiian shirt. Just a one-man conga line, topping off drinks, saying all kinds of progressive shit you've never heard him say. You want another beer? We should golf sometime. What are your pronouns again? And you gotta get back in the car later muttering like a conspiracy theorist. Like, well, that was not, and I was there, and I know it happened, and it was all right. And no one can tell me what didn't happen, and I know where it is. While your boyfriend buckles up like, I don't know what you're talking about, babe. Your parents are awesome. And you're like, oh, no, they are not. I don't know who those lizard people were. But they are not the ones who broke me. And the next time you see your parents, they're all smug, like, Jason really seemed to like us. You're like, I know what you're doing. Oh, maybe your therapist wants to meet us next, get our side of the story. I cannot wait till you're in the ground. All right, well, we'd like to be cremated. I will scatter your ashes where God can't find them. I will see you both at Easter.
I actually did get into a new relationship pretty quickly after I called off my engagement. I wasn't trying to. I really wasn't. A lot of my friends were like, you should stay single for a while. You should maybe get a cat. And I was like, hard pass. I have never left an interaction with a cat feeling better about who I was. Every cat reacts to people the way I react to seeing girls I went to middle school with in a Target. Just like... oh no! Like, that's every cat. I don't want to come home to that energy. But I wasn't looking for a relationship. I was trying to have like a fun, sexy fling, which doesn't usually go great for me because I have this round, wholesome face that people think they should build a life with. Every time I'm like, we could bone or whatever, guys are like, no, I'm all right. But you could meet my mom. Do you want to do that? You seem like you'd be better at meeting my mom than having sex. And they are not wrong, all right? I will meet your mom all night long. Moms like me so much for no reason. I was dating a guy years ago. We were totally on the rocks having problems. And I went to lunch with his mom hoping to get some advice. And halfway through lunch, she puts her hand on my hand and goes, you know, Taylor, my son's a lot like his father. And if I could go back in time, I don't know that I'd marry his father again. And I was like, are you saving my life in this Panera Bread right now? It was like a movie when an older character sacrifices themselves for the good of the journey. Like, she Gandalfed me. She's like, fly, you fool! She was a bad mom and a bad wife, but such a good friend. Oh my God. Hoes before sons, am I right? I think about her every day. And my boyfriend wasn't looking for a relationship either when we met. Straight dudes usually aren't, you know? Women are surprised when they find a guy who can make them come, and straight dudes are surprised when they find a girl who can make them feel genuine feelings in their heart. Like, women are like, he got me off 3 times, and guys are like, I mean, I just fucking like her, dude. Like... like, we talked all day. I didn't want to hit her. It was nuts. She's just like my friend. I don't know. I want to like lick her heart, I think. Straight dudes are so proud of themselves for falling in love. It's really cute. They're like, I love you. Hell yeah, buddy. I knew you could get there. Women fall in love. We're like, I love you. Fucking again, you dumb bitch. You were supposed to love you first. You keep skipping that part. It is eat, pray, then love. Oh, God, it's okay. We'll try again in a year and a half. My boyfriend is 7 years older than me because I need to get back at my dad for some stuff. Older guys
guys are just better. They're just better. You never have to ask them to buy Pepto-Bismol. They just have it in the house. They pull it out after dinner like a nightcap. Like, you want some pink juice, baby girl? You're like, yes, they would. Cheers. Older guys don't call you things like cute or hot. They call you things like stunning, gorgeous, shit with syllables. Things that would take a 20-something guy a little while to sound out. And older guys aren't like cute or hot either. You know, they're handsome, distinguished, like old pictures of your grandpa you shouldn't look at too long. You ever find one of those in an old dusty box? You're like, who is that? Oh, that's wrong. Okay. They're not your family in those pictures yet. They're just the past. It is a gray area. Oh, I'll get weirder. You ever see a picture of your parents when they were young and hot and you get like weirdly mad because you know they would have never dated you? I saw a picture of my dad in college football once. I didn't talk to him for 3 weeks. I'm like, you would have left me at a drive-in, you Danny Zuko piece of shit. He's like, what? I'm like, I can't hug you for a year and I don't want to talk about it. Parents are so nice to their kids now. It's crazy. I mean, parents apologize to their children. Did you know apologies went that direction? Did you know you could drive backwards on the freeway? It's crazy town out there. The closest my parents ever got to apologizing was this. You're okay. You're all right. You're okay was code for don't call anybody. Let's just chalk this up to a whoopsie daisy. I think mistakes were made on both sides. Walk it off. I love you. My friends talk to their children like they're human beings, like they're equals. They get down here at eye level. They make eye contact. I didn't know the color of my father's eyes till I was 22 years old. And that's just because his license fell out of his wallet once. And they're just down here like, hey, buddy, how's the Lunchable treating you? Good? Awesome. Well, if you have any feedback for me, notes, input of any kind, I would love to hear it. You know why? Because it's your childhood. I'm just honored to be a part of it. Anybody recognize any part of that speech? My parents were amazing parents. I love them very much. They did a fantastic job. But they were old school, tough love, no coddling parents, all right? When I was 15, I told my dad, I'm very depressed. I need to see a therapist. I've been thinking about killing myself. And he took a knife out of the knife drawer, shook it over his head, and went, be my guest. And I was like, wow, I don't want you to fix it. I just want you to listen. The best part of that story is I brought it up to him recently, and he just goes, oh yeah, I remember that. I'm like, yeah, me too. Every week in therapy. He's like, hey, I called your bluff though, didn't I? Aha! Look who's not dead, drama queen. I'm like, okay. Touche, big guy, only on the inside. Am I laughing? I've been practicing. There's no healthy fear of your parents anymore. Nobody's scared of their parents. I was terrified of my parents. I never talked back to my mom except for once. She was spanking me in the church parking lot because you got to get rid of those demons before you enter the house of the Lord. So she's cleansing her soul, a little pre-communion. And halfway through, I go, that didn't hurt. And she went black in the eyes. And in a voice I'd never heard, goes, oh, well then we're gonna have to make it hurt. And for the rest of my childhood, wooden spoon. She went Martha Stewart on my ass. I still cannot watch the Food Network. Great British Bake Off doesn't calm me down. But I never talk back again. You try to spank a kid now, they'll laugh in your face. They'll be bent over on the iPhone you pay for, looking up reasons why you're a dickhead. Just think, really? You're gonna go through with this even though psychology today says that you're undermining my well-being long term? Oh, all right, Eileen, you stupid bitch. You do what you gotta do. I'll be down here playing Angry Birds and Googling how you live with yourself.
By the time I have kids, they're going to be monsters. Just like, how dare you address me directly? Avert your eyes. And get out your boob. I'm hungry. The big one. I'm like, ugh, who gave you an accent? I had amazing parents. I have to keep saying that in case anyone here knows them. Anyone can come to these. I'm not a casual dater. Here's how not casual I am. I actually got engaged this year. Nope, didn't work out. Context clues. I would have expected better from you, front row. No, it's okay. It's all for the best. Didn't work out, just wasn't the right fit. But man, I learned a lot about myself in the process of getting engaged. First off, I didn't know what a basic bitch I was, who was gonna love being engaged that much. But something happened when that ring went on my finger. Something in my stupid lady lizard brain went... Level completed. And I just kind of floated through Target like... Oh, am I better than everybody? What's that? No, I don't need help. Someone loves me. I'll find the towels right after I cancel therapy. I'm all fixed. I wore that ring for 2 months. I never got used to it. It kept getting caught on stuff like sweaters and my freedom. Like, it was cumbersome. It also just didn't look right on me. It was a diamond on this. It looked stupid. I looked like a rescue dog in a Gucci sweater. It was so dumb. I mean, I had a friend who goes, "Are you afraid you're gonna get mugged?" I'm like, bitch, I look like I stole it. Are you serious? I knew I was too young to be getting married because people kept telling me that I was. I had so many people that were like, I got married at 25. Don't know if I'd do that again. I'm like, aren't you guys still together? They're like, yeah. I had a woman at one of my shows yell at me from the audience. She goes, "You should really wait till you're 27 to get married." I said, "Why 27? She goes, "Because that's when your frontal lobe is finished developing in your brain. That's when your brain's done, 27. Yeah, what a mean fact to yell at someone. It's like, oh, you think you're happy, Scarecrow? Why don't you wait a beat till the wizard gets you a brain? I've been drinking since noon. Make me laugh. But I Googled it, and that fact is real. And that fact is proof that God is a man, because who else would finish your boobs years before your brain? That's bullshit. You're telling me no one up in heaven's like, "Hey, God, are you going to finish the brain today? Because you keep putting it off, and it seems important." He's like, "This is important!" Don't tell me how to do my job. I'm God, damn it. I'm going to make one of them bigger for like 8 years. I'm sorry if you love God. That's what he's like.
But if any of the relationships that I had had in my 20s had worked out, I would not have my dream job. I would not have the career I've always wanted. And I've had a lot of cool experiences just this year as a result of being on my own. I finally got to do some shows in Europe back in April, which was a dream come true. And because I was single, instead of taking someone I was dating, I took my best friend, Courtney. Courtney's been my best friend since we were 10 years old. 20 years, she's seen me through everything. She saw me through depression in high school. She saw my first stand-up show ever. When I called off an engagement a few years ago, she kept my wedding dress in her attic like it was Jumanji. I'm like, just put this where I can't hear the drums. And she and I got to run around Europe paying for shit with my dick joke money. It was awesome. And it was really special to have her on that trip with me because exactly a year before that, last April, I was alone in a green room in Colorado, pre-show, post some breakup. And I got a call from Courtney. And I was like, hey, I thought you were on vacation with your boyfriend this weekend. And she goes, yeah, no, we are, but I just want to check in and see how you were doing. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. And I talked to her about me for like 10, 15 minutes. And finally I was like, hey, you're not really saying anything about you and your trip. I mean, are you guys okay? And she goes, oh my God, yes. Oh yeah, no, we're great. We're actually, we are actually engaged. And I was like, what? Oh my God, why did you ask about me at all? And she goes, I don't know. I guess I just wanted to make sure that you were in a place where you could hear it. It was so sweet and so hurtful. I have never felt so seen and so insulted in my whole life. Her fiance was there the whole time. Oh, she's like, and then what else? She sounds stable. She sounds like she can handle it. That's how you know your best friends met the one, by the way, when you can no longer get them on the phone alone ever again. You call them late at night crying halfway through the call. They're like, by the way, you don't care that Todd's been here the whole time, right? And you're like, oh my God, no. I actually called to see if Todd thinks I have a yeast infection. So glad Todd is available. And don't get me wrong, I love my best friend's fiance. I think he's an amazing guy. If he died, would a little part of me be like, sleep over? Of course. But I really was so touched that she was thinking about me and my mental health during her engagement that I went out on stage that night and I said, before we start the show, can you guys do me a huge favor? Can we make a video for my best friend who just got engaged? And the crowd's like, yeah. So I got my phone, I put it on selfie mode, and I went 1, 2, 3. Congratulations, Courtney! Me and 2,000 people yelling at her. And I got off stage that night and I texted her the video to say, hey, I love you. I'm so happy for you. And look at all these people who paid to see me. I'm doing just fine. I have one of Hugh Jackman's gloves. Thank you so much, DC. You are